copper is breaking out again against gold, and this chart tells us that this is a really good signal for Bitcoin. But in this video I'm gonna deep dive in why this is such a bullish signal for Bitcoin. We are seeing the yearly 2025 open getting rejected, and this is a really interesting signal because I think I know why they are doing this, and this is really important for Bitcoin. We are seeing a rejection of a very important zone here. What is next for Bitcoin? But major setups are forming here, and I will deep dive into this chart and the next major setup on Bitcoin. We will dive into that and way more in today's video. But first of all, I would really appreciate you guys to follow me over on X to never miss something throughout the day in crypto. And I would really appreciate you guys to subscribe over on my YouTube channel and like this daily update video. And that's it for now. Let's dive right away into the charts, because this is a really interesting chart and everyone is talking about this chart, and that's very normal because this is a really exciting chart. But I'm gonna explain you why this is so important. What we can see on the top side, we see the line chart of Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. On the lower time frame, we can see the copper to gold ratio. Why is this important? Because these are really different assets. For here, what we can see is that gold is safe haven, and that means that people don't want to take risk in the markets, in the economy. And copper is more risk on, and that is the exact reason why this is bullish for Bitcoin. What does this chart actually tells you is that copper is gaining strength against gold, and that is exactly what we want to see, because that means that people are willing to take more risk in their assets than safe haven. And that is exactly the shift we are seeing right now, because copper is breaking out against gold. What does this tell us? People want to take more risk with their money, and we have seen this signal flashing in 2017 here. We saw people swapping their money from gold back into copper, and copper gained strength. What does that mean? People want to take more risk with their money, and that is exactly when Bitcoin exploded towards the upside 2400% in the upcoming months. That was not the only time we have seen this. We have seen this in 2020 again. People want to take more risk with their money, get into copper, not gold, the safe haven, and with that, Bitcoin exploded towards the upside 560%. This signal is just a macro signal, and this is huge for Bitcoin. This is not the only chart that is telling it, but also backed by a macro shift, which is happening right now. Because if we look at this ratio, we can see that copper gold is breaking out right here, and that is a really important signal, because that means that people are done with gold, are done with the safe haven, and they want to get more risk towards copper, and with that a more risk on asset like Bitcoin. And of course, in the past we have seen breakouts of approximately 2400% and 560%. Do I think that is happening to Bitcoin right now? No. Market has been changing, of course, but this signal is so bullish that I think a easy 50 towards 100% is really possible here for Bitcoin. Not that major pumps like we have seen in the past, but this is a macro shift that is happening, and not only a chart that is breaking out. People want to take more risk, and Bitcoin is a risk on asset, and that is exactly where the money will flow into, and that is what will start a next move towards the upside for Bitcoin. What we are seeing right now is really interesting, because I've been talking about this yearly open of 2025 a lot here. Right now we pumped exactly towards that yearly open once again, but we are rejecting them, and this is pretty normal. Why? you could see every single time we tap this yearly open level, we dump towards the downside. I talked about this theory about good reports for institutions and entities, and I think these are just sell orders that have been set right over here but didn't get filled. So what does that mean? They dumped the price below the yearly open to have good reports. I've talked about that a lot here. They put in sell orders to push the price below this yearly open to get the price below this $93.5 thousand to have good reports. Right now they pumped back again and they are hitting the sell orders that are hitting here at the top. That is why we are seeing a rejection. And to be really honest, if we look at this chart, we can maybe see a further move towards the downside within this range. Why? What we are seeing here is this was the start of the impulse that brought Bitcoin towards a new low. We dumped from of this point the $95,000 back towards the $80,000. This is a really interesting point in the market. This is a really strong point in the market. We have been rejecting it over and over again, and right now we are rejecting it once again. Do we need to worry? No. Why? What we are seeing here, we can see that we broke perfectly out of this range we've been talking about. It is really clear if we dump towards the downside, towards the mid-range, that is a really good buy opportunity. What are the buy opportunities and trade opportunities right now on Bitcoin? We are bouncing from off a very important level right now. That is a buy and trade opportunity. Also, the $91,000 is pretty important for Bitcoin, and what we are seeing here is the $89.7 thousand is a very important level for Bitcoin. Then if you lose that, we have the lower side of the range, which is really good support. So these are the scenarios I am looking for right now. These are the levels I am looking for right now. The $92.3 thousand, the $91,000, and the $89.8 thousand. If we dump towards that, you can easily buy back your spot, which we sold at the top here. Or we can look for swing trades further towards the upside, because I don't think this was it for Bitcoin. If we manage to hold this line or this line and we break towards the upside, gain this red box, perfectly retested, the $100,000 for Bitcoin is imminent and we will see it very fast. So the scenarios here are long opportunities and buy opportunities on the red lines, and if we manage to gain strength, break above this red box and perfectly retest it, that is also a long position I want to take on the retest, and things are looking pretty good. For now we need to take some fuel with a small retest, get some more buy orders in, and when we see that, the momentum, the bullish momentum will flow back in Bitcoin. If you want to trade those moves by yourself, the best exchange out there is Weex. So I'm calling everything live here over on my X page, over on my YouTube channel, and in my free Telegram link, free Telegram group with the first link in the description. So if a setup unfolds exactly how I want to trade them, please make sure to follow me over all those socials to never miss a setup in crypto once again. And if you want to trade those moves by yourself, please make sure to sign up on Weex, the best exchange out there. I'm giving you the perfect setups. The only thing you need to do is trade it over on Weex. And that was it for today's video. I would really appreciate you guys, like I said, to follow me over on my socials to never miss a setup in crypto ever again. And I will see you tomorrow by a brand new Crypto Daily Update video.